Walter Morgan, and we are live in Zetro's Toxic Vault today on St. Patty's Day. I'm wearing green, but only because it says Cheech and Chong on it. I mean, we are only.
It is St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing green things for St. Patty's Day. You know how that is. And we're very green for all you people. Again, because we had such a great time on the Sweden trip last year. If you're in Sweden watching, this one's for you, dude, right there. Anyway, so we have a lot of stuff that we wanted to talk about today on the Vault. Good to have you in. What else is going on, Vault?
Well, it's
opening. The world's opening up a little bit.
It's spring. The
doesn't
weather's
feel
changing
like
around
it though.
here. A little more sunshine and
can't ride my scooter. Well, I've been riding my scooter a little bit.
Things are in bloom. We always get an early spring compared to the East Coast.
Right. So anyway, yeah,
special episode today, huh?
Yeah, well, we have a couple of things we want to talk about. Most importantly, we wanted to talk about the Rob Dukes interview. And I have to admit that this was actually really amazing. Now that you guys have seen all 7 parts and the whole conversation, for me, it was really cool and really amazing to do. And we knew when we were doing it, man, that it would... We weren't holding back no punches. We talked about everything as far as we were concerned, because there was, again, between Rob and I, there was never any animosity and what people tried to make of something that was never there. And I think that this really connected us even closer, because actually now since then, every couple of weeks, me and him are texting each other. Hey, what's up, dude? Got this? Hey, oh, check this out, so we've kind of became like a really good...
Rob is a good guy.
He is a great guy. And I think that a lot of the comments, and so Walter had took some comments down. I actually have Nicholas Souza here from Hatriot. He'll be in a little while. He's actually going to check out your comments and your questions as well, because we're going to try to get them better than we usually do, only because it's hard for me to talk and still read them and get through this.
So this is going to be different because this is such a big show for you. I thought it was the best interview. And I know a lot of times when you're doing these interviews, you can only go so far as the guest has something to say. And you know that sometimes you could tell when an interview gets close to being over, you just feel it. Like, okay, we've done it. But this one went on for an extremely long time because he gave so much of himself in it. And that's great. And
what I wanted to say is like, all the time that I've been, we've almost been on YouTube now for 2 years. And again, I want to thank all the people that have been watching loyally since the beginning, and the people that have come on every week, and you know who you are because we shout it to you constantly, and we really appreciate that. And out of all my interviews, I've had a lot of, you watch thousands of them, but this one in 3 weeks, what is it at 22,000 or 23,000 views in 3 weeks? That's the most I've ever got of anybody watching this webcast, in such a short amount of time. I think the next closest ones were Lars Fredriksson from Rancid, and then Bobby Gustafson from Violence Overkill, obviously, and Chuck Billy and Eric Peterson.
There's been some great ones.
Craig Cicero, a lot of really good interviews that people really you watch to this day. Still ones I did 2 years ago, you guys are still watching, because again, they're timeless. They're telling stories that'll always have some kind of memory for you. But we knew this would be very kind of unique, only because 2 people in our position musically have never done this before. You know what I mean? I don't think, and I mean, they may have appeared on stage together, maybe here or there, but never sat down and talked about the state of. And that's why we left nothing unturned. We talked about everything that came into our head. We didn't say anything was like, no, let's not say that. It's just how things came up, things was what we talked about. So now that the 7 parts are all up, that is the complete, absolute, uncut, full conversation that Rob and I had. It was, again, probably, 4.5 hours or something. He got here about 1. I think he was here till 7 or something like that. We took a couple of breaks in there, but it was absolutely amazing. So Walter had got some comments together, and go ahead and if you chime in if you want, or any questions that you have, you know what I mean, that we can get to.
Nick's gonna take some questions.
Nick's gonna take some
from
questions
you live, and that's
so
what we're
you don't see him, but he's off camera right now, and
He'll be in here in a
so
sec,
if there's
too.
if you have good questions, quality, you know what I mean. We're gonna go, but Walt has some
Yeah,
comments,
and-
and you know some that stood out to us because there was so many.
That's
Again,
what I want to say. There's so many that say, "Oh, I love Zetro, but I didn't like Rob," and then I love Rob, but I don't like Zetro, but now I can understand the two and how fans
we
think.
saw them all. We read
So
them
there's
all.
too many to
honestly.
read about it was great, and you guys should do this Bay Area Strikes Back and tour. There's so many, but I'm going to read you just the ones that caught our eye. Anyway, this one's from B Card Amon. Listen, Rob, you have no idea how much Exodus fans enjoyed your vocals in the band. You're absolutely not Blaze Bailey of Exodus. Apples and oranges. Your contributions and time in this band were widely loved, appreciated, and supported by us fans. Thank you for giving you what you did, and absolutely brutal records, 5 brutal records with Exodus. Zetro, thanks for this interview. That's the first one. And of course, we have another one, JMS 980. I appreciated Rob's transparency and introspection. I wasn't a fan of his going in, but this interview changed that.
I think that did that for a lot of people because I read a lot of comments that said that they thought Rob was this just arrogant, asshole, hard guy. And after they saw the interview, they kind of understood, maybe a stage persona character. But I felt doing the interview as we were going through it and talking about certain things like his childhood and things going through, man, I had that same change in I was like, wow, I feel the same way. I feel like, man, this guy has been totally misunderstood because, again, I didn't know him as well like you guys didn't know him that well. I'd run across him a couple of times. You know what I mean? We had done the chapel thing and then but to actually sit down and hang out with him, but I mean, the whole thing, setting it up to then was all between him and Wayne, and they did that, and I was totally down for it, and he was excited about it, and so were we. So that day, man, when he left that day, I'll say I felt like, man, we were really, really good friends, and
got closer.
And I totally closer. And I even said before he had done my show, I said, you're welcome on Exodus' stage anytime to sing any of those great songs from your era. And even,
much like you gave Paul that same ring.
Of course. But I mean, even more so now, I think, even more so that we're that much closer. Like, fuck, come on, like, do a couple of them. Let me go back and I'll have a water and chill for a minute. Take it easy. But no, we made a great connection from that. I only hope good things from him. I saw comments that said stuff like he should get a hold of the Power Trip guys. I think that would be a great.
That's what a great comment.
That would be a great fit. I'm just saying, I don't know anything about that. You know what I mean? I've toured with those guys. They're good guys. They're a great band. But when I saw that, I went back and I listened to Power Trip, and then I listened to some Exodus, and I listened to some Generation Kill. He fucking sounds a lot like Riley, a lot like it.
Has
and he
that
would
punk
fit
influence too.
real good. So if the guys are watching and I don't know what's going on in that camp.
I love that.
I mean? I love that, but it sounded good. And somebody also said, I think you have a comment in there where they thought Kerry King too in his new band. What do you think about that?
That's a possibility too, depending on which way Kerry wants to go. But that he's a fit in many different bands.
Definitely, but I think that would work. So we're pitching. We're definitely pitching for Rob.
First of all you singers, when we see you on a stage and don't know you, no matter who it is, David Lee Roth, you only get what you get on stage. And nowadays you have the social media thing where you can actually find out more about the people that you see on stage and the bands you like. So everything's kind of opened up to that. And this was a great segue into that. Anyway, Heavy Metal Gamer Show wrote this. And this is like many of the comments. For many years, I hated Rob Dukes because of him replacing Zetro and Exodus. But after giving Shovel-Headed Kill Machine another chance, I was definitely wrong. It was blind rage and stupid fan syndrome for many years. Rob is a hell of a vocalist.
Okay, and I'll comment on that. Now, after my breakup with Exodus, obviously leaving after Tempo before Shovel-Headed Kill Machine, I could be honest with you guys. I didn't give a shit what they were doing. I didn't even really listen to it until probably Exhibit B. I mean, it's like, do you go call your old girlfriend up and ask her what the fuck she's doing?
You try to get it out of your system.
So I didn't want anything to do with it. I just kind of turned my head and went my own way. I had a whole couple of my own little bands going on. I did Dub and Death Patrol and Tenet and my AC/DC band, and I did some things in there, but it just wasn't what I was interested in. And then after I joined the band, a lot of our set is from that era. And even when I got back to joining the band, first off, I learned a lot of the songs, because it was like, we're not going to do what some other bands have done when they've had their singer gone back and then gone back to that guy, not played that era. You know what I mean? I don't think Anthrax plays any of the John Bush era stuff with Joey. And I know it wasn't that long, but Iron Maiden doesn't play any of the Blaze Bayley era, which I think some of those songs are very heavy. And Judas Priest does not play any of the era of Ripper Owens. They just don't. And Jugulator is a really heavy record. And I'm sorry, but I just, we weren't going to be that way. So out of the gate, I learned those songs. And the more I listened to them, the more I totally appreciated his vocals, saying, wow, everybody, I'd only seen what, you guys, the fans, and people that were in support of me, and believe me, I appreciate that. I love that you have my back. But I'd be honest with you, I was listening to it going, there's still the same aggression, or even more so, and there's nothing wrong with this guy's vocals. After I heard Shovel-Headed Kill Me or Exhibit B, I was like, wow, this guy's completely solidified himself as a singer of Exodus. You know what I mean? Is his vocal on that, everything, Ballad opening, the Ballad of Leonard and Charles, they're just great songs on that fucking record, and so I just, I look at his era in Exodus as a vital era, as Paul's was or mine were and still is. You know what I mean? It's just a piece of the history of the band that we don't look down on, or it's just an even history. I wish Paul was here and all three of us we could do fucking E3, Exodus 3 with all three of us. But I've seen the comments about, because Rob and I talked about doing the Generation Kill and Exodus thing, and I'm not opposed to that one bit. I think it would be great. It would be great for him and his band, and I'm sure my guys wouldn't necessarily be opposed to it. You know what I mean? It would be good to bring him out up on tour, on stage every night, to do a couple of songs, both with the duet or by himself. It doesn't matter. I don't look at it like that.
A lot of comments love that idea.
You know what I mean? So, that's how, let's see what it works out. And then, to be honest with all of you guys, I don't make those kind of decisions in Exodus, do I, Walt?
No,
tell them.
But
I'm the front man, I'm that, and I'm okay, cool.
But you're
cool. But I'm open to that totally. I wouldn't be the guy going, I don't think I want to go out there with him. I'm the singer of this band now again. And that would just step on my toes. And I don't fucking look at it like that.
I've never seen Exodus, like the difference in you and Paul. I've never seen them not be cordial and always give a song or two. And you know that because you've been in both situations now, right?
Right. I've been in all the three times. 3 times I've been in and out of this band. So, yeah, I've experienced them all. So it is what it is.
Along those lines, Michael Tyler said, as a fan of all eras of Exodus, I fucking love this. And if you guys tour together, I will definitely be there, which goes right into Jeff Sorning. Thanks. This was truly insightful, entertaining discussion. As an Exodus fan, I love hearing so much about a variety of topics. When live in-person concerts are a thing again, I'd love Generation Kill and Exodus show with Zetro and Duke singing again. The idea is gold. So there you go. We get that a lot on all those comments. And there's 7 episodes, so there's so many comments that we couldn't possibly.
Yeah, we couldn't go there, and we appreciate.
We're trying to get to some of these.
And a lot of what you guys said, and a lot of what I've read was all of a praise of. Everybody thought Rob's persona was this different kind of thing, and they found out he's really a humble guy. You know what I mean? And he was, when he first came in, he was scared shitless because you know what I mean. He'd never he hadn't established himself, and I was like, wow, fuck, by Exhibit B, you totally established yourself as far as I'm concerned.
I think that's the pinnacle of his.
But I think. Like a lot of the fans saying, a lot of the people are saying their Shovelhead Kill Machine is one fucking in-your-face record. So Very,
All
very
right,
heavy.
David G. I wish Ozzy and Ronnie James Dio would have done a sit down like this. Maybe they would have ended the animosity towards each other. And that's what we were saying earlier. You know, how many times has this been done really like this?
You
I
know what?
don't
I
know.
think that to be honest with you, because I don't know Ozzy, but I knew Dio, and I'll say this: I don't think Ronnie really had any animosity towards Ozzy at all. I
Sometimes
know
in the
he
press
was put in a
perceived.
bad position in a couple of times that I don't think was right, and I know what they were. We were on tour with Black Sabbath for when we were on tour for Force to Habit, and they were on tour for Dehumanizer. So I got to know Dio really well, and
He's the
and he
greatest
never
human.
said anything bad about Ozzy. Even when Ozzy came up, and he sang those songs, and he did them justice, and he's always was a great frontman and always a great singer. Again, two different styles, like Brian Johnson and Bon Scott. It's the same thing, but man, you love them both, and Brian, because he took over for Bon because Bon passed. Brian shows total respect to Bon when he sings those songs. They still do Whole Lotta Rosie all the time. They do the Jack. They do Dirty Deeds. You know, I've seen him to this day do those songs. And if you didn't want to respect the person, you wouldn't do those things. You wouldn't play those songs. You'd say, no way, I got 40 years of, because think about it, Brian Johnson joined it at 41 years. He joined in 80. You know, he's got 41 years of material. Shit, he doesn't need to play that shit, but they do because it's respect and because Bon was such a revered. That's why I do my AC/DC tribute band as a Bon Scott thing. I love that era. It's what I grew up on.
Survival Bay Area says, Zet, it's actually really good to hear you open up about why you left Exodus in 2004. I was 14 at the time and I'd seen you guys play the Metro right after Tempo was released. I could not fathom why you would have to quit then. But today, as a more reasonable human and mature person, it makes tons of sense. Well, they heard your story on that, right? I mean, a lot of people hear
but I mean, the funniest thing is when you're 14 years old, and all due respect to any of our younger fans, you think that anytime somebody puts out a record or they're on tour that they're a millionaire, rock star, rich, you know, and they don't, and that is so far from what it was, what reality really was, and Exodus at that time during the Temple of the Damned years were not that fruitful financially for us. And I had 3 children, and I had a wife, and I had a union job that was like, hey man, you can't keep going on vacation every night. I'm going, it's not vacation, believe me, like whatever it is, you can't keep going if you want to keep this. So I had a lot of pressure from that end, and I had to do the right thing. But now those kids are grown up. As you can see, one of them here is writing notes down. We'll bring him in a little later.
And he handed me a hot note.
What's a hot note? He's got a hot note.
There's a lot of people saying hello out there.
We have a new segment. Nick sending hot notes.
Like Lex,
Hot notes by Nick.
Lex saying hi, Papa, and
Hi, my
South
love.
Africa
I love
checking
you, my boy.
in. And someone, Charlie, wants to know, where do you get your weed?
Everywhere.
And Gianni, why do you do cleaner singing on Force a Habit? And if you go back and listen to that episode, we did a whole thing
I actually explained that if you go back and look at the Force of Habit, but there.
That's what's great. All these episodes are there.
Yeah, you can always go back and watch. I did a whole thing on Force of Habit. I explained why we went cleaner on that, actually.
And Roy wants to know if you can recommend a good recent horror flick.
I've been saying it because I seen it about a month ago. It's called The Witch. Did you see that, Walt?
I haven't. It's on my.
Oh man,
I know.
It's really
to see it.
scary. And so that that's the one I've seen recently that just stands out to me that I could probably watch 2 times. Very scary.
There's a zombie one I saw recently. It's Train to Bajuan or something like that.
I heard about that. How is that?
That was good for a horror
Also,
movie.
Frankenstein's
Korean
Army.
one.
If you haven't seen that, Frankenstein's Army is a good one. That's a real good one.
All right, and Charlie wants to know: did you catch any Gene Hoglan on the Eric Andre show?
I don't, but I do watch Eric Andre because I'm a big fan of Cartoon Network, so of Adult Swim. So I didn't see that. I think that show's silly, but I did. I missed that. No, I'll have to go on YouTube and check it out.
Also, Thrasher Power wanted to know: have you considered thrash bands in the vault, such as David from Havoc?
Yes, I have, and we're actually in the middle of some technical issues right now. That's why you haven't seen really like a regular normal interview episode of The Vault We've kind of gone live, but we're going to iron that out here in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to get that back to normal again. And I will have those guys. I'm going to get those guys in when they come around. When people start being able to come around on tour again, I'll be able to get more people. But I do have some. I know you guys want Rick Hunelton when I get back to, and this will probably be within a month's
from
time.
Hyrax.
Well, Rick Hunelton actually agreed to come in. Matt Freeman from Rancid. I'm going to get Matt in. So there's going to be some people that are going to come in that I have set up for some guests. But again, we want to get back to that nice camera in the back and the sound, and we're in the middle of a technical kind of middle of something right now, and we will be back to those types of episodes real soon. So if you missed some of those type of interviews we do with the nice intro and the good sound and the vault with all the cameras, we're going to get back to that. But
here's another good one. I like this.
you guys like going live for now, right? Everybody goes when I go
leave
live?
that in the comments. You like the live or you watch the other shows? Or well, you can watch the live shows later. That's the beauty.
I like the other ones actually. So.
Okay. When I first started getting into Exodus at age 13, the CD of Bonded by Blood I purchased in 2003 had an extra track with Zetro singing, and Then There Were None. And on the track, it was probably doctored in the studio as always. Zetro is talking to the crowd like, "Okay, London." Listening to that intro and picturing the crowd off of my head. It was awesome. Do you remember those tracks?
Yeah, because they got those from the Astoria.
Right.
So what they did was they wanted to re-release Bonded by Blood, but because I had just joined Exodus kind of recently in the last year and a half.
So these are bonus tracks on Bonded
by
Blood.
On Bonded by Blood, a re-release. And if you look, it's kind of a red cover with like
a
this
marble looking.
It's not what it is. It's an actual picture of a crowd. And if you look at it,
if you didn't
can
tell me
tell
that,
it's a crowd when you look at it now. If you have that cover with the yellow Bonded by Blood on it and the two extra, I believe it's A Lesson in Violence and Then There Were None, right? And that's from the live at the London Astoria. The Astoria. Yeah, the Astoria's not around anymore, so...
What's interesting, though, I know you're not...
You were there. You were there.
But listen to this. You're not going to believe this, maybe. I actually was called in to do backgrounds on that studio freshen up thing. So on those two tracks, me and Rick, I think, did the background vocals. I lived in San Francisco, and they knew they could call me. I could be there in 10 or 15 minutes, but actually I sing backgrounds on those two songs. I thought that was my Exodus moment. Anyway, I can still hear my own voice. Sometimes I listen to those tracks and I can hear myself.
Well, you can always hear Rick because it's...
Oh yeah, he is. I also love how Rick, with those live songs, don't think in between songs when you're trying to talk to the crowd,
he just starts playing over me. They're famous for that.
Yeah.
Gary does it too. It's like I'll go, so you guys, and then I'll stop and I'll look at them and they'll be like, look like they're stopped, and I'll go to start again, and I'm like, okay, whenever you guys are done tuning or whatever you're doing over there, I will continue with my message in between songs.
All right, and Flasberry, seen you both live fronting Exodus and love you both. Very different approach, but just amazing. Medals by Sea, fascinating, candid, captivating. Best wishes from Australia. Thank you both. Ingo Hoffman, I would love to see Chuck Billy was Zetro. Maybe you could do some kind of
Chuck Billy husband was Zetro. But you need to go back in the what is my my
we want
catalog?
5 hours.
My catalog.
We want a 5 hour.
I gotta get Chuck back in here. Anyway, Aussie, oi, 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 yeah.
It's funny because where we film the vault is literally you could walk to your high school, to both of you guys' high school from here, right?
Yes, you can.
And he lives.
I walk by it twice a day. Believe me.
It's not a trip. Anyway, Avadis Bukemia. This must be some Eastern Europe name I can't pronounce. Zetro. This was a killer episode. I've been watching your every single video since the start of the channel. So on this special video, I wanted to say a very huge thanks to you and Rob. And I think that's what everybody was saying.
And thank you for watching all my episodes from the beginning. You're one of the old school people that have been like here and seeing what we're doing here. And we've done a lot of different things, movie reviews, stuff. I think the bread and butter of what we do here is really getting the old school guys in, or some of the guys from the music, and doing that. But we will be doing movie reviews when movies come back. Believe me, me and Walt can't wait to go and eat popcorn.
We're just talking about that.
We can't wait.
But also, if you want a good munchie, you showed them how to make that your favorite little snack.
Peanut butter cup.
That's good. That's a good episode. If you want to make a
Zetro's peanut butter cups.
Try to cover everything here.
I try.
Tyler D's Exodus made some of the most brutal songs ever. I think it's hilarious. People think Rob and Zetro
have a beef because it's total bullshit. And this Generation X and Generation X and the Exodus should tour together. Anyway, Matt Matthews, all of Exodus vocalists were kick ass. The three, right?
I agree. Everybody has their own style and their own brutalness and their own era.
And I just wanted that reminds me of when you didn't do the South America thing. Was it the Entombed singer that you had that filled in for you on the last minute's notice? Who was that, Steve?
No,
It was they filled in.
wasn't
I
it
think
Matt from Gruesome and wasn't it? I think it was Matt from Gruesome.
It wasn't the guy that
just passed.
To be honest, I don't know. It was
Someone
not
could
him.
comment on
It was
that.
not
but
him.
It was not
He
him.
lived in the Bay Area. That's why I'm sure. It was pretty sure it was Matt.
but there's been
Some fill-ins. Steve Esquivel from
He filled
Skin
in
Lab.
for
he
yeah.
filled
On
in a
that
little
tour,
bit.
he filled in.
Right, on the same tour that
Yep.
Rob was later.
That's when
done.
he
He did
that's
one
when he
tour.
did. Yep.
Anyway, interesting. Yeah, all the singers are great. I mean, you can't get on stage with Exodus and not be a good singer. Is that,
You better
I mean,
know what
come
you're
on
doing.
now. All right.
The music's too brutal.
All of they all have great attitudes, and it's all about metal. All three of their vocalists made killer albums and made a huge impact on the band's history, and it's still going on. It's true. You think that you'd be nearing age 60, Stephen, be ready to
Well,
wind
not
down.
nearing. I'll be 57 in a couple of weeks. I still
Well,
got
there
3
you go.
years. Nearing. I guess if you're an old man like that, 3 years is nothing. But
Ah, you know,
nearing.
by the time you get torn again, you'll be 58.
I think I'll still be 57. I'm
Okay,
counting
well,
on
we'll
it.
see. We'll see. All right, and Colin Liptrot. This is awesome. Really enjoyed
Hi,
watching
Ted. I see Ted was in.
and listening.
I haven't seen much, but I did notice that.
all your stories.
Aguilar
No
from Death
egos,
Angel.
just all about
man.
respect and metal. Such a great interview. Imagine if Dio and Ozzy had sat down. That's from Jason. And
Everybody says that. I imagine if so many other people sat down. Dickinson and Diano. Think about that.
Steve said, Delaware said, it's like a dream podcast. Thank you. Max Hoffman, Zetro, thanks a lot, man. Rob's so funny and his stories are fucking
I
legendary.
agree.
You know, anybody that talks about shitting a shard on stage while you're singing, that's funny. That's real.
Shoe water.
That's real.
God, I can still gag fucking talking about that.
Jay Shitsiold. This was a really great. Enjoyed this. It's great to see two singers of different eras. Has always seemed angry and hateful in the zone on stage. So cool to see his human side. I think that's true. You're a human, aren't you, Steve?
Not all
Everybody's
the
a human
time.
down. Everyone's
Yes, and everybody thinks about, I'm going to be honest with you, when you're in our position, I mean, you don't want, when you read something and somebody says something negative, it's not like you're, oh, okay, look at this guy. I'm actually good with that. I understand how it works. But I mean, when you're a person, and even if you're not, known or anything, somebody says something bad to you or about you, how do you feel? And that's kind of a lot of the way this comes across. And, that's why a lot of times my interviews are very candid and very to the point of I want to try to get to the center and the heart of that person, go back all through of them. I start with the childhood and how they grew up and how they got into music. and
That's
those
true. I
types
love
of
the
things. So,
progression.
you know what I mean? I try to do that so there's you kind of find that this, you get the nature of the person, not just the nature of what you see on stage or hear on an album.
I love that. Anyway, Gary Spitzer. These are hot notes from Nick.
We're
again.
hot. Nick, didn't know we need a new intro that got to come in. Hot notes from Nick.
Why didn't Exodus open in Toronto for the Sabbath show? Do you remember that? Was there a show that you didn't do on the Sabbath?
No.
Maybe he got there late. Okay. Bates, what classic
I know we played Toronto.
era thrash band do you feel didn't get enough recognition?
What era thrash?
Yeah, what classic Bay Area thrash band didn't get enough recognition? Well, I think that Violence, they toured once and the tour came back home and they didn't go to Europe. That's the one that I would say. But go ahead. What do you think, Steve?
I would say I think them and Forbidden. It's like it seemed like they didn't there should have been way more for both of those bands. But I mean, you could say that about anybody in the Bay Area, really, because it was so deep. I mean, you're talking about, everybody.
Even the support bands where you could,
everybody
the Horde of
from
Torment was good at the
Mordred,
time.
you know what I mean? Heathen,
Defiance.
Heathen right there. Why didn't
Yeah,
Heathen
Heathen.
get? It's a great thing. Why didn't Heathen get that? A great singer, good guitar, great players.
Maybe this type of metal is just meant to be underground, and not everyone's going to be Metallica.
You know what I mean?
You're not going to be
It's
half
like,
a Metallica.
there was so many other, great. I mean, Possessed never really flourished. You know what I mean? As like, why did they were the first ones to really do satanic death metal? Them before even really Slayer.
I think
Really,
it
it's
was
like,
too heavy for people to
I'm
comprehend.
telling you,
because
it's
I
like,
didn't get it. I didn't get it.
It was just outrageous, and so there's a lot. You could go down the list on there. So
Here we go. Another one from Adam Hands. Possum-
Hyrax is in it. I see Hyrax right there. Very perfect
Yeah,
example.
Hyrax.
I agree with that 100%. And Dark Angel as well. They didn't get the that everybody else got.
You know what's funny
what
is
I
a lot of
mean?
these bands that didn't get their due.
Florida, Malevolent Creation. I love those guys, man.
A lot of these bands that didn't get their due. With these younger fans that come out of the woodworks nowadays, these bands are getting that second chance, or at least to go discover that music. I think that's really
Well, I think
good
with
too.
the credit is bands like us are still staying together, still staying strong, and putting quality music out still. There's not too many genres of music, even heavy metal, where guys that have been around since the 80s are good. I mean, there's many. I mean, I love everything Priest does, everything Saxon puts out, anything Motorhead put out.
Iron Maiden's albums are
Iron
very
Maiden's all kick ass. You know what I mean? So that's another era. You know what I mean? British New Wave, which is British Wave, been 40 years now plus. We were talking about that earlier too. 42 years.
Adam wants to know any possible teaser for the new Exodus album. And I read on the board too. Someone was asking, "When's the album cover, Zet? When's the the track listing?" We're getting closer though, right? This is spring. By summer, I won't say. I'm taking the fans' guess. I say by May that you're gonna get a track. May, maybe June. But I think whatever. I'm hopeful. Anyway,
I can't say
that's right.
anything.
That's true.
You guys know the
You
name.
will be surprised.
You know the name of the record, and we were all told that it's coming out this summer. That
But
is
there
what
are
I
some
know.
twists and turns, as always, on an Exodus album. Anyway, Lee Graham,
Same method.
did you catch the trailer for Army of the Dead? Is there a new?
I didn't, but I heard that it's coming.
You're gonna do that
I
after.
didn't. I will. I
Brian,
haven't
will
seen
you guys ever play Faster Than You'll Ever Live to Be?
I'm going to tell you, all you Exodus fans that request these other songs, I'm the first one that would love to play them. There's others in the band that don't necessarily feel that they want to play those songs.
I remember you guys playing that
But
in '88.
I would play anything. I mean, I think, actually, before I left Hatred, actually, Nick, weren't we going to do Faster Than You Ever Lived to Be? That was
Parasite.
that and Parasite. I was going to play some with Hatred, and I was going to do
Right.
some of those.
I-
I would love to.
Okay. Also,
I would
if you
love
ever do a book, Steve, I've
Working-
always thought
still
that
writing it.
title would be the best. Faster Than You'll Ever Live to Be. For you, that
Well,
would
Walt,
be...
you know what? You might just be helping me. My book may be co-written by Walter Morgan, and then have you do the foreword. You know how they do those in the books, the foreword.
Yeah, I like that.
Forward.
I like it. Anyway, here you go. Philip, thoughts of the passing of LG from Entombed? 49, Steve. Another cancer.
Same way we
takes-
felt about Alexi a couple of months ago, man. It's like,
But when you're medically taken out like that,
I know,
so
I know.
we
it's
think of
tough.
49 as young.
I know, especially now that
But
I'm
when we were in our
the
20s, they were
57.
old men.
Right. I'm just sorry about that. It's so sad. It's so sad.
How about AWC Thrasher? Godzilla or King Kong?
Ooh, that's a tough one. But I have to go with Godzilla.
Okay. And
Although King Kong is fucking badass,
I'll go with
but-
King Kong because it's classic.
but Godzilla Godzilla's a badass too. Come
Lee
on.
Graham. You got to get Hetfield or Tom Araya.
Would love to.
Would love to.
Anyway, cool. So we got a couple of more things that we were going to get into because we have a live streaming show that we're going to be doing.
That's true, and I'm actually, if you can
Are you
see
wearing
it,
it?
yeah, I'm wearing it.
Just got to get
Ah, it's just-
ACDZ.
Yeah. And there's going to be some swag from that show, right?
Yeah, we have T-shirts ready. Actually, there's going to be T-shirts and girls. We did make girl shirts for you, tank tops. So they
Wow.
will be available. So what you need to do is if you want to see us live stream that show, and I mean we're playing so many killer songs. I mean.
You're
all
going to
the
get your
old school
money's worth
stuff.
on this.
You definitely go to aftontickets.com/ACDZ live and get your ticket for that. It's we're doing it April 3rd. We're doing it at noon. And the reason why I wanted to go at noon is because it will still be live in Europe. And I know that we're 8 hours away from England and we're 8 hours away or 9 hours away from most of Europe. And I wanted them, I know that you guys are a little bit closed down more than we are in the States. They're starting to open it up a bit more. So get your friends together. I know maybe I don't think you can go to a pub.
I have a question. If you do purchase it and get it at 12, will you be able to play it later? Like, do you have to watch?
Well, the thing is that it's going to be available for a week.
Oh, that's a
I'm
good
gonna have
deal,
it work,
too.
not just 72 hours. I'm
Okay,
gonna
because
have
a
it
lot of
available.
people are going to say, I can't make it.
I know, and I get that, and I understand it because there's going to be people in America that are going to go, noon Zetro in California, dude. I was out partying on last night. I'm not going to make that or whatever. Maybe have to work, so I'm going to make the concert available for
All right.
7 days.
Another good question that I have is that a lot of times I've seen you guys play almost every time you play, but you play a long set anyway. But this one's going to be longer, isn't it? Because you're going to throw in some extra shit. Probably longer than you've ever played.
I
imagine.
know I know that we have calculated 90 minutes of music, so that's a good selection. I think it's 15 or 16 songs, and if we have time and it goes good, we may do more. We got to see how it plays. I have a 2-hour window from 12 noon till 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That would be 3 o'clock New York to 5 o'clock, and obviously 9 o'clock in Europe to 11 o'clock, 8 to 10 in England.
And you told me
I've got
before
7.
this that there's going to be a special live Zetro's Vault the night before.
Yeah, what I think I'm going to do is while we're doing the setup the night before, and we're doing because we actually have to set up and do the sound check and the line check and the video check and all that stuff and do a test run to make sure that the live stream works and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to go live that night and probably around, I can't actually say. I'll know a little bit much more in the next couple of weeks when I do the production meetings with the people that I'm doing it with. But look forward to the Friday night, April 2nd. We will be going live. Still, I'm going to go live, do a special live on Zetro's Toxic Vault from the actual place we're doing it. And I'll get interviews with all of the guys in the band. We'll get interviews with the production people that are working on it and just some insight of what the concert's going to happen for the next day. And so that you guys get a little bit of a idea of what's going on. So I just wanted
a little sneak peek.
And I'm also very, very, very proud to announce that we will be playing our first ACDZ live show, and we get to do it at the legendary Hells Angels Clubhouse in Frisco. That'll be on April 24th. Finally, a live show for us. It has been since December of 2019. So if any of you guys are in the Bay Area, any of you bikers that are
What's the
watching
date
this,
on that?
that's April 24th, Saturday, April 24th. Actually, the club have put out a
The
flyer.
iconic clubhouse.
The iconic
The
clubhouse.
clubhouse?
The clubhouse in Frisco. And they have actually put out a flyer yesterday announcing it. So it's going to be kind of a welcome back, everybody, kind of a party. And I told them that I wanted to do it. And I have some very,
Isn't
very
that
good
perfect,
friends in the
though, for
club. And
AC/DC
we've been
music
talking about this for years.
at a party. That's
doing
what
a
it is.
party at
So this is
there. And
really a biker party.
so it will be. It's a real biker party, and so I mean, you don't have to necessarily have a motorcycle to go, but I wouldn't suggest it. So and anyway, it's going to be a good time. That's on April 24th at the legendary Hells Angels Clubhouse in Frisco.
Awesome.
So again, the live stream,
April 3rd.
April 3rd, very, 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 very excited about that. And so, what else comments we got? We got anything else?
Well, we do, but won't we get Nick in here for a minute?
No, I don't think we're going to go with that. Yeah, let's get Nick in here for a minute.
I did have one more comment that I wanted to read.
Okay, we could go back to that. I have a couple of more things that I definitely want to get to. What's up there?
What's happening?
How are you?
Good, man.
You?
Good.
How are you?
Just out there
Everybody?
behind the scenes.
Here he is. Welcome, everyone. My son, drummer for Hatred, Mr. Nick Souza. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me in.
How you doing? Good to
Doing
have you
well,
in.
doing well.
How's the baby?
He's great.
Is he watching right
He's
now?
watching live in
You
the
know he's
mama
watching
at the
right
house.
now. Hi,
Hi,
Jackson.
Jax.
We love you.
How are you?
Love you. I love him. God, and
Yeah.
we seen him beating on your Instagram. I seen him beating on drums the
He's
other
a
day.
natural.
I thought we were going for a guitar player, dude. Is that we're not going to
Maybe
go?
producer, you know, you gotta learn all the
play all the
instruments.
instruments.
Yeah, we'll
but
start
I
with
did
drums.
see him hitting it.
No, he's got great
Yeah.
location. He's
Yeah.
totally getting the hand hit. So
Cool.
no, he's doing well. But
Cool.
yeah, so we got some new merch on the Hatred website. If you go to hatred.bigcartel.com, we just dropped a bloodstained wing shirt yesterday, and we also dropped patches yesterday. So and with all this, in lieu of all this, we're doing a sale. So if you go to our website, you get 17% off. Code word green. If you know, you know. So that's
cool is that?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. If anyone's watching out there, you need some new Hatred swag. Just wanted to come on here and kind of give that a little shout
Well, help
out.
out because that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like, I actually took a ride a couple of weeks ago to a friend of mine's motorcycle shop, and he only deals in clothes and apparel and stuff like that.
Cool.
And I felt like, I got to drop $100, $150 in his shop just to show
Yeah.
some love because you know
Right
what?
on.
In the time that we're in this thing that's come upon us in the last year, and where things are starting to break out, it's great to help
Small businesses.
and anybody
Period.
like that deal in this kind of stuff. The Exodus fans have been great buying merchandise and stuff. You guys have been great buying the Zetro's Toxic Vault stuff and stuff. And it's great just it helps out. It keeps everything going because everybody thinks this big myth that we're all just big rich rock stars. It just doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? And we got to work hard like that and hustle and you guys help us out 100% in doing that. So.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, encourage all of you to do that. Yeah, doing well following Cody on Twitch. I just got all my equipment.
Yeah, right.
I got my laptop a few weeks ago. I got my microphone, got everything.
So you're about ready to go
I'm
on.
About 2 weeks I'll be on Twitch. So
Let's
follow
talk
me
about
at
Cody
Sick
for a
News
minute
Up.
because your
But Cody,
brother's,
yeah, he's doing
Cody's
great.
been killing it on there. So
Yeah.
tell everybody where
It's this
because
kinda-
he talks a lot about Hatred stuff. So give everybody his URL. Where do you go to see
Yeah,
Cody?
so you go to Cody_Hatred. He's usually on about 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Pacific time, and
Yeah.
he does it every night. And
Every
my
single
son
night.
he plays bass on there. He games. He moves in with other people.
Oh, yeah.
Alex done with Alex. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
sometimes.
We know we get love. It's a kind of this small community that's untapped, and it's not very. It's popular, but it's not very popular amongst being flooded out by random musicians. You can find Alex Bent, Mike Leon from Soulfly, and he does the Cavalera stuff. Boy Daniel DK from Exciter, and it's kind of this close niche. Jason Bittner and Gene, not too many of your generation.
Right.
I think Rob Flynn just got one, but
Nice.
It's
nice.
cool. It's cool. So you can hang out, request songs and watch your favorite artists. But I encourage everyone to hang out with us on 6 p.m. And I'm gonna start twitching probably around 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. earlier on the day. So check us out there. And yeah.
So go just to any of your socials, Hatred,
Yeah,
Facebook,
yeah, Hatred,
Instagram,
check all that
any of
stuff
that
out.
stuff
But
out.
it's been fun. Yeah, we're pretty much done with the new album. Just signed a new record contract with Massacre. So that was done officially about 2 weeks ago.
Good.
With our new management, Craigan.
Good.
Craigan Lum.
Craigan.
Who filled in
AMI.
for
Is it AMI? I think it's AMI management, right? I think it's called AMI.
No, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Him and,
Craigan's the man, though. I love him in your
filled
hands.
in
He's
for
doing-
Exodus for Gary. Yeah, he's
for 6 years.
smart dude.
He's
Smart dude.
I love the guy. Love the guy.
Yeah.
And he knows what to do, and he'll direct you guys in the right direction. And
Yeah,
you guys,
yeah.
And I just heard a pre-production song of some new stuff, and it's quite fucking heavy, people. Very, very fucking heavy. So a lot different. I see a growth in everything that you guys are
Yeah.
doing. Because I first thing I said about, wow, a lot different from Heroes of Origin, doesn't that?
different,
So
yeah.
very heavy, very aggressive, but
Yeah.
that's why we keep it in the family that way. You know what I
Definitely,
mean? Keep it in the
definitely.
family way.
And for generations on, right?
Yeah, well, we got the next one working on. Like I said, I seen him. He's got his own at Jack's, right? Go to
Yeah,
Instagram. He's
yeah,
got his
I
own.
know.
He's got his
He's
own
more popular than
Instagram.
both of us.
So he is so cute. He's
Yeah.
cuter than both of us, anyway. You were a
That's
cute
cool.
baby though, but you're
I
not a
tried.
baby anymore.
I
That's
tried.
all right.
Yeah.
It's a baby's cute. He's number one. Now you can get it.
Yeah.
Lovely.
That's how it works in the
That's
power
great.
rankings. But
Anything else?
I think that's it. Just wanted to give a little hat ride update. Appreciate
Good.
everyone for buying merch. Letting it go to
Keep
Seasons
it up.
of Miss.
You can go to Seasons of Miss.
Yeah, follow us
we're
on
gonna talk about that.
Instagram.
We're gonna coming up.
Probably be releasing some new
Yep.
things here pretty soon.
Yep.
But I think Walt has some more Duke's
Yep.
questions for you.
Well, yeah, I got a couple things I got to talk about as well. So let's drag Walt back
All
in
right,
here.
Walt.
Right on. And the switcheroo back. And we're doing the switcheroo. And then Big Snag goes, do. So I have this other thing that I wanted to talk about. And I know a lot of you guys know that I do Cameo, which is this thing that you can go to and you can get personal shout outs for like weddings or birthdays and congratulations or whatever it is. And you go there. And there's many artists and musicians and actors and comedians and YouTubers and all kinds of stuff. And basically it's a shout out thing, you get a video from somebody, but
And you've been doing that for a while.
I've been doing that for about 2 years, almost that too. Back when I started doing the show, I started doing that. Anyway, I've joined something else new, and it's called Vanyware. And what it is it's kind of the same, but it's different. It's the same, but different.
Different
Actually,
platform.
but this is better because you can actually have a personal video chat with me through this service. And called Vanyware, so it's anywhere with a V, VANYWHERE, Vanyware. You can go and get their app on any of your platforms, any of your phones, and you can check them out. And then you can sign up, and for a small fee, you can direct message me and receive direct messages from me. You can receive video messages from me, and you don't even have to sign up for that to get video messages from me. But I thought it would be easier if you did that, because then I would be knowing.
So if I had trouble writing a song and I booked a little 5-minute conversation with you, you might be able to help me with something.
I could talk about that, definitely.
Or
That's
many
it.
other things.
Or other things, and that's it. You have to book at least 3 minutes. I am $5 a minute, and I give you 2 minutes for free. And so if you want to book it longer, it is what it is. And we can talk, and it's a person, like I said, Cameo, I just like, hey, happy birthday, good to talk. This is for them.
5 minutes on a video chat.
Think about
is
5
a lot
minutes. It's
longer.
a long time to talk
Yeah,
to
it is
somebody
long.
for 5 minutes. So you have to go to Vanyware.com or just go in the App Store. There, it's VANYWHERE, Vanyware, and sign up. But then you can also, for a monthly fee, subscribe, and you could send me personal messages, and I can send them back to you, which I will. And I'm not going to be one of those guys that you sign up and I never get that, or send you out a personal message once in a while. Plus, if you wanted to have a conversation with me, you could direct message me and say, hey, I was thinking about doing this at a certain time, because I have to turn on this app to expect your call, and it's not on all the time. And so I thought it was kind of would be easier that way. But go to Vanyware if you're a big fan of Cameo and you've used that platform for this. This way, they have a couple of other artists, but not too many right now. I think I'm their only musician, or at least metal musician anyway. And you can go on there, and again, you can book to have a personal chat one-on-one with me.
Awesome.
That's kind of cool, don't you
Yes.
think, Walt? As technology is coming in, if you were to tell me back in 1977, when I was 13 years old, that I could have paid my birthday money to have a video chat with Robert Plant or Angus Young or Bon Scott back in that day, I would have gave you my birthday money, my Christmas money, my fucking college fund, the whole 10 yards. So I think that it's kind of cool that these platforms are starting to reach out to artists and make it closer for the fans' experience to feel more like they're a part of it. We have so many fans that we acknowledge from the show, and I'll not I know Claire's watching right now. She's always watching from Liverpool, and she acknowledges everything when my family does something, and we love that type of stuff. Metal Dams, he's always there, chiming in. There's so many, Mike from Metal, there's so many of you guys that chime in that have been around that we love that. And so our relationship with all of you guys is more close and close knit because of that. And this is another platform to be able to get that, solid, thing that, hey man, I can actually go to this. I could book some time and do a video chat with Zetro, you know what I mean, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you know what I mean, or whatever, and we could talk about, I'm having trouble with this thing, or I just wanted to ask him about the Exodus, or ask him about this kind of thing, but you can't ask about the new record because I can't tell you nothing. Sorry, even if you booked one of those, you don't get nothing special like that. So anyway, I got to get to some other stuff, but remember, if you want to do those types of things, which is, brings codes, you have to go to Anywhere. So
we'll put the link on your Facebook and maybe your Instagram.
Yep, we'll put the link up there. I've already put some stuff on my Instagram for it, but it's not too hard. It's Anywhere with a V, but it's Anywhere for now. So that's what I have to say about that.
A couple hot questions I got handy.
Okay, let's go.
Lee wants you to tell a good Lemmy story.
How many? Okay, a good Lemmy story. All right, we were in Argentina. We were in Argentina, and it was Exodus and Motorhead, and it was a time when we didn't bring a road manager with us. Do you remember this, Walt? I road managed the band for them and the Japan trip.
Yeah, I did.
It was kind of towards the end of the first ending of Exodus. It was around 93 or so. So we get to, I'm having to do everything, check everybody in, plus do the sound check. So I'm running back and forth to the hotel, the venues, doing all that. And a lot of times the shuttle cars, they're going back. I could, if I may jump in a car with, Lemmy, or I may jump in a car with Mickey, or I may jump in the car with Wurzel, because Wurzel was in the band at the time, or some of their crew, or my guys are with their guys. Anyway, so it was funny. So I get into a car with Lemmy, and Lemmy is just bitching about Wurzel and his Wurzel's wife and something like that. And he was just bitching about how I don't know what they were getting into. And I had to run into the hotel, and I had to get something out of my room. And then I ran back down and walked out because I had to get back to the venue. And when I went back to the venue, there was a car out there, and it was Wurzel and his wife having to go back. So I just got in the car with him, and they start bitching about Lemmy. And it was like, I was like, oh my God. And it's like, I got to hear one side of it. Now I totally hear the other side. That was none of my business, but that was kind of a funny story that I remembered from the Motorhead thing from those days. And, both of them aren't with us anymore, unfortunately. And we respect both of them, especially, for Wurzel's contribution to Motorhead at the time he was in, and Lemmy's contribution to what all of us in the world are who listen to heavy or music from any form. If you don't have Lemmy in your heart, then you've never had any heavy music in your heart ever, because as far as I'm concerned, he was the pinnacle of what we all are, what we all
I have
represented.
a
rock
funny
and roll, drugs, sex,
Lemmy story
rock
also.
and roll.
So we were on that tour
Party.
in London, and the one that we talked about where the 2 extra tracks were taped on the Pleasure of the Flesh tour. Anyway, we went to an after party at a local dive bar, like sometimes we do
San
back
Moritz.
when we're kids.
The San Moritz, for any of you guys people, it was in the
Anyway,
Soho district in London. The
Lemmy
San
was
Moritz.
there,
He was always there until he moved to Hollywood.
So I'm in the bar and I'm just checking it because Lemmy's there. You're gonna be looking to see.
He's
what
there
he's doing.
constantly.
Oh, he's there constantly. But what I loved is that he would order a Coke, and then the waitress would go away, and then he'd pull out of his pocket. He has a flask, and then he'd add. It's something that I did in my 20s,
Well, the only reason that was is because at the these were after hours clubs. Now, you got to remember that 11 o'clock.
It's beer
Pubs
only or something.
closed down. It was beer and snake bites. Remember those snake bites? It was beer and that, like this wine thing. So Lemmy would just order Coke, and then he would put whiskey in it from his flask. But that was the San Moritz. For any of you people that are in London or old school like us, There, I don't even think it exists. Literally, you walked down these stairs, and the place looked like a cave, and it had all these. I hung out with King Diamond there one night too. They had just recorded the album Them, and we were there doing that. I think it was the following year.
Many a fun time in London, that's for
Always
sure.
a fun time in London.
Okay, and Charlie wanted to know what your favorite Jason from Friday the 13th is. Which movie or which favorite Jason is type?
Two.
Okay.
Friday the 13th Part 2. The kills are so, at that time, and I remember this because, and now they're not, and you'll look at it and think they're cheesy. But when I was 16 in 1981, because the original came out in 80, 81, the second one came out, when like the axe in the face was so graphic at that time. I always laughed at the cheesiness of the horror stuff, and I was a horror guy, but I always wished it could be like that. And that's, to me, that's when it started. The kills started to get really, really good. Like the Freddy kills were good, and the Child's Play kills were good, and the Michael Myers kills were good, because that all started out there. So that's about it. So it looks like we're running out of time. We're getting
One more. Let's see that.
Give me one more.
What's your favorite motorcycle? And maybe the one that you have. Huh?
Well, my favorite motorcycle obviously is Harley Davidson. I have a 2006 Dyna Super Glide, but I have it all kind of customed out. In fact, I don't think there's one piece of the motorcycle that's not been touched. You could go on my Facebook, right?
Right.
You can go on my Facebook and you can see all the pictures of my motorcycle and those sort of things. I want to get to the people that that endorse my show. Obviously, Death Wish Con. No, my notes
Here it
are-
is.
Obviously,
Your notes. Oh, wait a minute.
I did, well, my notes are.
Oh, you got notes, huh?
I do have notes.
Oh, my God.
Obviously, the guys at Death Wish Coffee, since the start of Zetro's Toxic Vault, those guys have always been behind us. Look, you're wearing a Death Wish Coffee hat, aren't you, Walt? Jeff Ayers
nice
has
hat.
always kicked us down. When we were recording Persona Non Grata, they sent us, I mean, the hay bale size of coffee for us all. On that, it was great. I just want to shout out to them. They're so good. Also, my friend Kyle at Hella Hot Sauce, and I mean, this stuff is hot. Go to www.hellahotsauce.com and you can order it from them. They're in the Bay Area here. Very tasty, very hot. A lot of their sauces reflect musicians or DJs, and they have different flavors and different tastes. And I mean, they are really, really, really,
Hella.
really
That word is a Bay
That's
Area
a California, not just
I
California.
heard on
It's
Wikipedia
hella.
it says that it
Is it
came
a
from
Bay Area or
Hayward.
did it-
Tiffany argued with me. I think it came from the Sunset
It did.
in San Francisco.
Hella.
Hella,
It's
but that's a hella
I mean,
California.
like hell
hella
of,
Bay
like
Area.
a lot of hell.
We use
of.
that word a lot.
Hella. So hella hot sauce. And then of course, if you want to send someone a video, greeting from me, either a birthday, a bar mitzvah, greetings, a cheer up something, a congratulations, any one of those kinds of things, you can go to cameo.com and I would love to send it to you. You can just go to the little search things, search request Steve Zetro Souza, and you could do that. And that also goes with Vanyware. So that's the thing we were talking about
And we're
earlier.
going to put that up
And
today.
we are going to put that up today. We're going to get you where you can go. So, but you guys are smart. You all have smartphones right there. You all have your computers sitting in front of you right there. Just go to @Vanyware or Vanyware.com and you can find out there, and you can totally have a conversation with me or direct messages me and direct messages back. And I think it's something that's kind of personal. And I promise, if you sign up, I'm not going to ghost you. I will send you messages as long as you don't sit there all day long and
You can
parade
talk
me
about
with-
hot sauce.
You know what I mean?
And with
I
coffee.
don't know about we can talk about us, but you can send me, hey Zed, I'd like to do a video message with you, and we go, okay, Saturday at 11, I'll turn my little blue thing on my phone, and I can accept you don't have to do that. I just don't know how else they'll be able to tell me that they want to do a video.
And we're going to
message with
remind
me.
you, this is live, but it will be on the Toxic Vault. In
Yeah, you can always watch
the
this.
Archive it. And you can watch anything. You can go back months ago or even last
That's
season. Everything stays there. And I think that it's growing.
Yeah,
lately. I
It
wanna
has been
thank
growing a lot.
everybody.
And I want to thank. We are between 9 and 10,000 subscribers, and so when we hit 10,000, I'm going to be wow. I never thought it would be that many of you guys subscribing to the show, And so before we go, next week I will have Craig LaCicero in. You guys know him as a guitar player for Forbidden and Spiral Arms.
That's gonna be a live
Man, that's going to be live as well. He's going to come in live and talk
That's
about
a
his
first.
new video and a new song from his band Dress the Dead. And
I'm going to take down the
of
questions
course, there'll be
live.
some questions. Of course,
we're
there'll
gonna
be
do
some
live
forbidden
questions.
stuff to answer as well. We're gonna talk about that as well. So that will be next Wednesday.
And maybe about some cooking tips, because I've seen Craig on Facebook. He's barbecuing up a storm. You gotta ask him about that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. You're going to be here helping producing the show, Walt. I love that. I love when Walt adds content and I don't have to work on it. So that will be what we're doing next Wednesday. Same thing, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. And again, if you guys got questions about Forbidden for Craig or Man-Made God or Spiral Arms, he will be more than overjoyed to answer your questions about that kind of stuff. So do remember that kind of stuff. So anything else we got, Walt?
This show's just about a little over an hour now.
Okay, so if you have
great.
not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, because like I said, I really want to hit that 10,000 subscriber
share
number.
on social
and
media.
share the stuff on social media, and tell all your heavy metal friends that Zetro's got a channel where he comes in every week and he's got guests and he's got old interviews and all kinds of stuff. And we could do cooking with Zet and Walt. You never know. We could do that. But for me and Walt, thanks guys for coming in.
See you next week.
We'll see you next week. Yeah, I'll probably have you come and sit in the seat.
I'm
for
gonna
a minute.
give-
You'll be here.
I'm gonna field
You'll be
the
here.
questions
Anyway,
for Craig.
we'll see you guys next week in Zetro's
Toxic.
Talk